Welcome, FNews57 here. Once again, I'm back on Call of Duty Black Ops 6 on my Xbox, and today we will be going over how to become the king on the Reckoning, or the Reckoning event. So, all we need to do is farm a crap load of points. I'm going to show you how to do that. Two different methods. If you don't like the first method, stay around for the second method. The first method will be harder, but it will be the absolute fastest. The second will be a little bit more fun and easier to do. If you don't know, you get 1 point per zombie killed, 25 points per special, 100 per elite, and 5,000 points for the quest completion. Now, yes, I know a lot of you are saying that these are kind of some lame events because it is super random what your leaderboard looks like. My leaderboard is fairly easy here, but some folks are up against leaderboards with the top person sitting in the hundreds of thousands of points. So, first and foremost, there's only a couple of days left on the event. This is actually the prime time I would recommend starting the event so that hopefully you get matched in a 30-person leaderboard of a more casual variety. The first couple of days and the last day are usually the most wild, so you'll have to be a little careful with that. Alright, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So for the first method, what we will be doing is farming the boss. You will need to do this in solo. I highly recommend the Maelstrom shotgun. This is the loadout that I will be using. We are set up here for a tac stance build, which is very different from what a lot of folks use. As far as augments and all of that fun stuff, it's going to be the standard set of augments, except you want Stalker on your stamina up. Just about everything else will remain the same here as playing through the game, but we are running through shotgun build, so Death Perception is Critical Eye, Deadshot Daiquiri is Dead Again with Dead Draw, and Double Tap, our main engine of damage, is Double Standard with Double Time. If you want a more detailed breakdown of all of the different augments and everything that you need to go ahead and complete the Easter egg, then check out the video in the description. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into a solo game, make a save on the Reckoning. You can get everything opened up and have the boss room available to you somewhere around, if you're lucky, round 18 if you're really fast, and if you're not really fast, probably round 21. But I would recommend that you wait until round 25 so that Wonder Fizz is available just in case you do lose a perk or you don't have all of your perks purchased. This is very important. Make sure that you save your game here, outside, or technically in the teleportation room, but make sure that you save your game before clicking on the teleporter for the final encounter. Once you enter the game, you will need to flip one round, so it's also not a terrible idea if you have your caster turrets upgraded. The reason why we flip one round here is quite simple. By flipping one round, we're able to unlock the save and quit. Right now you can see save and quit is grayed out, and the only way that we get it back is by flipping to round 27. So we must flip one wave, at which point then we'll actually start the boss fight. And I'll show you exactly when you need to save and quit so that you can repeat this without screwing up your save and having to repeat a half an hour to hour long Easter egg every time. Obviously, you can do this with whatever boss fight you want, but I highly recommend that you choose the easier of the two boss fights, which is going to be Sam, allowing you to get a completion in approximately 10 minutes or less. Now, regardless of whichever boss you chose to fight, it's going to be the same process. The moment that you land the final kill and the cutscene starts, you're going to pause the game, you're going to hit save and quit. This is going to actually give you your 5,000 points for completing the main quest, but it's not going to actually finish the game. And we'll go back to the point that we had right before the boss battle. So basically we can just sit here, grab all of those points for the match, where it was 5,774, 5,000 for the quest, and then the rest just for the kills. And now what we can do is we can just go right back in, load back up our save file, which is now on round 27, flip 1 round, restock on your ammunition and of course any perks you might be missing or anything like that, and then go right back into the boss fight and keep repeating that process as many times as you would like to build up as many points as you would like. As you can see here, I'm up to 40,000 on my leaderboard. Once again, like I said, it doesn't really matter how you go about killing the boss. As soon as you do kill the boss and you see that sentinel artifact, you're going to pause the game, go ahead and save and quit. So basically you can do this once per round. If you start at the earliest point that I recommended at round 25, then you should be able to do this relatively easily at least a good 5 to 10 times before you start getting really close to the wave health cap. And at that point, you may wish to switch to the second method. So just again, show you that it does work. We gained 5,531 points for the event that time. That's boosted us up to 45,849 points. So it works as many times as you want to do it. Just remember, every time you do it, you will be increasing the wave cap by 1. And make sure that you do flip that wave every time. Next, I'm going to show you the high rounding strat. Alright, so if you made it to the point that you can either no longer safely or efficiently farm the boss, or you just don't want to farm the boss, then what we are going to do is go for the high round strat. You can do that pretty much just however you want, but I have a couple of different spots that I want to show you that will be a lot easier. So the augments do change at this point. I definitely prefer Free Faller, and for the version of this that is, in my opinion, it's slower, but it's easier to do, we're just going to be using Probiotic. The other version that is faster and arguably you could say easier, you would use Turtle Shell and then Durable Plates. That is very important for that one. For this, though, it doesn't matter as much. Just in case you do go to your melee, it will be Espresso instead of Vampiric Extraction. Speed Cola is still going to be supercharged, and Fast Pitcher. Vulture is going to get changed up from Fetid Upgrade to Parting Gift. Since we'll be using the Wonder Weapon, you need to make sure that you have your Wonder Weapon ammo as much as possible. For the other two methods, it will be Condor's Reach instead of Picky Eater, for instance, just to get your armor plates back and everything. But I like to have on Picky Eater for this particular spot. We're still going to use the shotgun, so we're still going to keep Critical Eye. However, if you want, you can switch to Treasure Hunter to try to get your death machines back faster. And then PhD Flopper remains the same. Deadshot Daiquiri remains the same as long as we're using the shotgun. If you're going to switch up, you can switch that as well if you want. Same thing here, Double Standard and Double Time. That's going to be pretty much your best bet. Last up, we're going to switch over here to either Imperial Peach or Electric Cherry, and then instead of Vulnerable Bean, you would be better off with Chill Berry unless you're going to use the melee strat. Entirely personal preference, though. Ammo mods, everything will remain the same. Field upgrade, everything will remain the same, except I highly recommend on Cryo Freeze you switch to Big Game if you're going to use the melee strat. So, as far as field upgrades go, for the section of area that I'll be showing you, we will still be using Ether Shroud with Group Shroud and Extra Charge. For the other section, you can use Void Sheath to get rid of the Uber Colossus. And for the absolute fastest method, you could use Energy Mine with turrets, but that is going to be entirely personal preference. So go ahead and load your save file back up. I'm on round 44, and I really wouldn't recommend farming the boss after round 41, simply because of the fact that you get turbo sprinters. So if you want to continue, you'll either need a new save or go for the high rounding strat, which I'm showing you now. If you don't have everything that you need for the high rounding strat already, that's perfectly fine. You can go ahead and get it, but you're going to need primarily the Gorgafax N variant, and obviously we want the Pack-a-Punch level 3 on it. So all you need to do is make your way over to where PhD Flopper is here with the Mutant Research Lab, and you're basically just going to spam fire the Gorgafex N right in the doorway. If you get a little overwhelmed, or if there is a Uber Colossus, as soon as you hear it, you're going to want to go ahead and switch to your death machine and get that Uber Colossus out of the way. If you have extension on, you'll be fine and you won't have to actually use 2 charges. If you don't have extension on, you're going to need to use 2 charges like I just did there. But pretty much everything's just going to pile through this doorway as long as we stay to the back. And you don't have to worry about much other than the Klaus core, which I didn't kill the Klaus core fast enough, so hence why we have this particular issue. If you do get stuck, you can always use a Casimir, and if you get the double Klaus spawns, then you're going to have to either back off. If you need a second death machine, I'm going to show you right where the table is to craft one in here, which is one of the reasons why I really like this spot. We can just run right here, grab armor plates, and grab a death machine if necessary. We also switched to Free Faller, so if for whatever reason you do need to get out of here completely, you can simply just jump down the hole with your grenade out and you don't have to worry about it. Overall, a little bit chaotic, and you may get forced out, especially on higher rounds, simply due to the fact that you don't have enough damage, or if you don't have a death machine at your disposal to deal with the double Uber Klauses. But this spot is a little bit more forgiving, so just bear that in mind. Like I said, for this easiest spot, we are going to have to switch up a couple of things. For Ether Shroud, we're going to go to Void Sheath and obviously Extension, because Extra Charge isn't really going to help us out all that much. Now, you could still use Extra Charge if you wanted. It's a little bit more versatile. It's just completely personal preference. Here we're going to be taking a lot of damage, and we're not really going to be using the shotgun, so we're going to switch to Treasure Hunter on Death Perception. Vulture Aid is still Parting Gift with Picky Eater if you really want. Otherwise, Condor's Reach will help you keep your armor plates full faster. Supercharged or Classic Formula both work out really well for this. However, it's just going to be personal preference which one you want to use. Melee Macchiato absolutely must be Espresso for this. The small minor augment doesn't actually matter on that one. Juggernog will get switched to Turtle Shell along with Durable Plates, and then the rest of it, again, doesn't really matter. So this will be your easiest method, but you can only use the Wonder Weapon. You're really not going to get the opportunity to use any other weapon, and you may wish to have shock charges or decoys as opposed to Casimirs. So for this one, what you want to do is go up that elevator that I just went up from the spawn area to quantum computing. And in quantum computing, you are going to hook into this elevator door frame. So basically go no more than 1 step out of the elevator door frame, and that's going to force everything to come and spawn basically from just this little area behind the bushes to our right. Now on Klaus rounds or ammo rounds, it's a little funky, and you can take them out with your Maelstrom or GS45s if you want. There's a crafting bench right in here, so if you are missing a death machine, armor plates, or if you want to switch up to decoys, anything like that, you can do so from there. Remember, we are running Turtle Shell, so you need to be in position before the round starts. If you are not in position before the round starts, simply make your way down that hole, wait for the zombies to start spawning, like actually wait the couple of seconds for these guys to go ahead and catch up to you, and then we'll take the elevator up to quantum computing, and we are going to stand facing the elevator, so our back will be to all of the enemies, and you're just going to charge and fire the Wonder Weapon at the ground. The moment that you hear a Klaus, Uber Klaus spawn, you're going to go ahead and pull out your melee weapon and just beat the shit out of him. You might want to kill a couple of other zombies just to extend the duration of your Void Sheath augment. If done correctly, you can take out both of those guys at the same time. So you'll take out the Uberklaus, and you'll have plenty of time to take out the Uberklaus core. If you're a bit slow like me, then you won't have enough time to actually take out the Uberklaus core, which means that you're going to want to go ahead and reset. You can use the caster turrets. We're actually in the area to upgrade the caster turrets if we wanted to. So I'm just going to run you through a quick armor buy. Let's just pretend that I'm out of armor and I have to leave in the middle of a round. I'm just going to pull out my grenade, fall down here, buy this armor off of the wall, wait for everything to start spawning in down here, and then we're going to take the elevator back up. Once we're back up here, again, we'll hook in to the elevator door frame, and we'll just start firing the wonder weapon with the full charge shot at our feet. Again, this is specific to the Gorgafax N variant. And as soon as you get down to only 2 armor plates, maybe a little bit less than 2 armor plates, you're going to want to put a new armor plate in. This way you stay alive. By facing the elevator, we are allowing Turtle Shell to absorb all of our damage, and we don't have to really worry about it. Now, for the last couple of enemies that are going to be inevitably alive, it's going to be parasites. And parasites are definitely annoying. So, with that, that's where Electric Cherry, if you're rocking Electric Cherry, or a secondary weapon comes into play, or simply just throwing a Semtex grenade behind you. You don't ever want to turn around, even if you think the round is over, until you are absolutely 110% sure that everything is dead. Because since we have Turtle Shell on, when we're getting hit from behind, all of the damage goes to our armor, but the moment you turn around, any hits to the front, well, you take full unmitigated damage, and you're pretty much going to instantly pop your Dying Wish or go down. Now, because we have Condor's Reach on, we're able to pick up all of the wonderful ammo and everything that is dropping right at our feet. This way, we're also able to snatch up salvage and armor plates, pretty much all the fun stuff. So, not the fastest method, but definitely the easiest method, assuming you have the augments unlocked. And if you wish, once you're comfortable with this, to go even faster, then that's when you could switch. Instead of having the Void Sheath setup, you can go ahead and go to the Energy Mine setup, which is going to be pretty much the same thing that we're doing here, except using Energy Mines and firing through this bush to go ahead and spawn kill all of the enemies. Now, the only problem with spawn killing the enemies is you don't get salvage, because they're basically going to die in their actual spawn window. So, yeah, wouldn't advise it. You'll also want to make sure that you have anything other than Turtle Shell on if you're going to camp the one spawn. But this is by far the easiest for those folks who don't have upgraded weapons or just aren't comfortable with the strategy of, you know, the one spawn. So this is pretty much your best bet here. It works all the way up through the rounds, into the hundreds of rounds. It's just as long as you want to keep doing it. Also, if for some reason you do get overwhelmed, remember we have our reload right there. We can throw an armor plate in while reloading, which is phenomenal. Gotta make sure we keep our back towards everything. Alright, last couple of enemies are left. Just gonna quickly whip a Semtex out there. That's gonna kill all the parasites. And then you can take your time and pick up anything that you might have missed or needed. Another thing to keep in mind, I know it's difficult to see with everything going on here, but you'll get a little bit of a green flash when the Gorgafax N's charge shot is fully charged and ready to go. And that is when you actually want to go ahead and let go of the trigger and fire that charge shot. So the timing is a little bit funky, but you can actually charge the Gorgafax N and insert armor plates at the same time. Also, you just seen how much direct health damage we took just from that Doppelgast's explosion, the death explosion there, so be very careful about turning around. But this is the general strat. You can go ahead and use it for as many rounds as you might possibly want. And we can also use Semtexes for the Commando Klaus rounds in the later waves, because eventually your weapon will just be a little bit lackluster. Well, thank goodness for the Gorgafax N being a area of effect weapon. Super simple, folks. That easy, that simple. And obviously, you can carry, if you want, you could carry, like, you know, a Shields Up Gobble or Anywhere But Here, Idolize, anything like that just to help yourself out. Whenever you're done, you can then go and hit the exfil button, successfully exfil, and get your extra points for that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or anything, feel free, leave me a comment, a nice spicy comment, and I'll do my best to help you guys out. Till next time, my brothers and sisters, thy legion, stay frosty.